How are we doing this morning? How are we feeling? Larry the Starfish says, good morning. Good morning. Did you do cardio today? Did you stretch? Did you meditate? Did you do your morning routine? Maybe this is your morning routine. Are we doing ancient tools for technology? Ancient tools. Ancient tools. These tools are semi ancient. This is a box of tissue paper. Why is a box of tissue paper entering my YouTube Live? It enters because I grab a box of tissue paper from a hotel and I pack it in my luggage on the way home. Why do I do that? I do that because if I am incredibly frugal with the free tissue paper that I get while reusing tissue paper, I'll never not have tissue paper. Is this a motif and a simile for money? It is because this is an ancient tool, which is you don't need tissue paper to blow your nose. You don't need tissue paper to be purchased, even though you can collect tissue paper. What are you collecting that is building wealth? What are you collecting that is amazing because someone's on 240 days of a timeout? Come back better. Come back better. I get it that you're enthused because what you are not getting is what have you done to get better? What have you done to get better? That's why you're fired or timed out for 240 days. Feel free to not like yourself on the way out. Feel free. Feel free. Because what we're collecting, what I'm collecting, is a series of wins. Just like the tissue paper, where it's winning and it's a visual reminder that I've won. What visual reminders surround you to remind you that you've been winning? Or in your case, losing? You tell me. You tell me. So instead of needing attention, what we're doing is we're using ancient technology tools. You're not using brain power. What we're potentially going to do is a visual reminder in our immediacy. What's right in front of your face isn't the ephemeral nature of social media. It's you talk so much. You talk so much. Good morning. Good morning, says Joust. What's Joust? Is that like a new company? Food delivery apps are my dating apps. That was your first video. Welcome back. Welcome back, Juiced. You have a lot of subscribers. Good job, buddy. We're talking about ancient technology tools. For example, a stuffed animal. We're talking about ancient technology tools, which is boxes of tissue paper that I got free at the hotel. Larry, did you take 5 boxes of tissue paper when you left the hotel? Nope. Nope. I took 1 box. I never take more than 1 box. It's the discipline of being disciplined. Because what I'm trying to do, not trying to do, what I've been able to do is what I tried to do, which is collect tissue paper boxes while being incredibly frugal with the free boxes of tissue paper. Think of this as a mental discipline because every time I look at the boxes of tissue paper, I'm reminded of some legendary trip I took to a hotel. I get to the hotel and I would say, I need 5 large bath towels and 2 boxes of tissue paper. The reason I am talking about ancient tools is you're using the newest, shiniest tool. You're hoping that the next new shiny tool is going to be the thing that puts you over the hump. That's why sometimes you ask remedial questions. That's why sometimes you get timed out. That's why sometimes you lose the ability to chase the shiniest new piece of content that I drop. Instead of hoping for a new thing, why don't we take something incredibly old? And you might think that I'm going to say tissue paper box again, but this is the equivalent of a tissue paper box. It's WordPress. WordPress, the blogging software. WordPress. Do you have a website? WordPress. My friend, Matt Mullenweg. Who's Matt Mullenweg? Who's watching and not liking? That's hilarious. That's hilarious that you're so retentive where you're like, oh, I'm going to sit in judgment. This content's amazing, but I'm going to wait because your only currency in thinking about power over the internet is withholding subscriptions, withholding love, withholding even liking. This is where your brain gets to be on scarcity mindset. Nobody wants your likes or your subs or your internet energy. We have real world energy. That's incredibly old school. Thank you. Thank you. And you're welcome for showing me who you are. With an ancient tool, what if some old tools are new again? That's answering the question, which is hard for people to fathom. It's hard for people to digest. It's hard for people to even ask, which is, hey, restaurant that I eat at twice a month because I'm newly into January and relatively not liquid. Hey, restaurant, do you have a website? Hey, yoga teacher, do you have a website? Hey, YouTube denizen, do you have a website? I wanted to call this video how to use ancient technology tools. I also wanted to just do comedy. You guys tell me, should I just flip this channel just to do comedy and then not even address some of the basic ways to life hack? What are you guys' thoughts? You guys, this is the smallest room ever. This is personal attention. Is this too much personal attention? Absolutely combine both. Ooh. I like that. I like that. Where you're telling funny jokes, but also helping people with their life. Oh my God. This is hilarious, rude, and perfectly on brand. Hilarious, rude, perfectly on brand. What are we talking about? I do know where to begin with that because I do know where to begin. I do know where to begin. When was the last time a hot girl asked you what your Instagram was so that way she can follow you? When was the last time that that happened? When was the last time any female asked you, because I'm looking at my CRM, it's only men in here. When was the last time a female asked you, hey, what's your Instagram? My Instagram is Larry underscore Chang, Chiang, underscore 650 283 8008 underscore. When was the last time somebody asked you what your username was? Because what we can do with Web 12 is we don't even need to be friends with somebody on Instagram in order to repurpose their viral post. Because Instagram, it's owned by Meta. Meta hates Facebook. Facebook hates Google. Google hates Grok. Grok hates OpenAI. Let's absolutely benefit from the fact that all these companies, they kind of all hate, not kind of, they definitively hate each other. This is the benefit. You're from a divorced family. This is perfectly right up your alley. I'm sorry that your mom's new boyfriend was less interested in your mom and more interested in your butthole. I'm sorry about that. Probably very traumatic. That's cool. This is what we're going to do with the fact that not enough hot women ask us for our Instagram. Me, look at my Instagram. It is a vagina avalanche. This is how to replicate it. We're talking about humorous ways to cause an avalanche, humorous ways to get the snowball going. It's Web 12. What Web 12 is Web 1 and Web 2. What Web 12 is it solves the disconnect problem of that woman glowing you up, sparkling. It solves that problem. Why? Because you're going from Web 2 to Web 12. Nobody knows how you're doing it. This is how you're doing it. You're taking sampling and owning the sample. So it's fair use for me to fairly use what you're putting out on Web 2. This is, can you write 12 sentences about a book? The book's author cannot sue you for writing that summary. That's just fair use. It also benefits the book's author. No intimidation, no pressure if you can't read because your brain's broken and you're not able to delay gratification. I get it. I get it. I don't get it. This is how you can get it. Is you can repurpose someone else's social media. Why? Because content is sitting in a silo. You can unlock the silo by having 60,000 web pages for a restaurant. Here's another silo. It's called the silo of DoorDash. They hate Uber Eats. Kind of like Lyft is in a silo. It hates Uber because Uber Cab, it's 10 times better. What if there were a way to bridge the silo? Have you ever played a game called Two Girls, One Larry Chang? This is how that game works. Were you there for the video where I used a piece of used dental floss? This is a used piece of tissue paper. Hopefully it's mine and not hers. Because it does oddly reek of 3-day-old vagina. Because in a land of unlimited tissue paper boxes, we're using tech tools and we're reusing tissue paper. I found this on the ground. I could use new tissue paper. I have enough money. But I kind of secretly want to see how resourceful I can be by using no money, no manners, and no resources. By DJing things that already exist. This is something that you can do because the silos that I was talking about, think of different boxes. Think of different boxes of tissue paper that I refuse to use, even though I bring one home from a vacation. Think of these silos as towers that don't interact. Think of these silos as this is your mom. She divorced your dad because she wanted to get side dick, or she didn't think that your dad was rich enough, or your mom was mentally ill and just wanted to kick your dad out because she was too happy. This is your dad. This is you in the middle. This is you in the middle, and now you can benefit from being in the middle. Why? Because you're going to say, oh, mom said it was okay. And then you're going to tell your dad, it was okay? Or were you drunk that time you said it was okay? These are silos. Think of this as DoorDash and Uber Eats. Think of this as taking advantage of the gray area, where the rules specifically state that these two companies, they should be interacting, but my YouTube doesn't really like my Instagram linking out. Why? Because platforms want to lock you in. Have you heard the entrepreneurship saying? You don't want to build your business in someone else's yard. Is this me building a business at YouTube, Instagram, X for Hot Girl Entrepreneurship Club? It isn't. Do you know why? Because this is getting turned into a website. Maybe you don't have a website, that's why you don't have a job. Maybe you don't have a website, that's because you got sold a lie, which is just stay on Instagram. Just stay on YouTube. Just stay in a hotel and we'll let you just stay in a hotel and we'll let you live in our hotel. We'll let you get mail. Oh my God, you're taking over our hotel? Why are you taking over our hotel? Is this going to benefit us? What we're doing is we're using ancient tools for doing a turnaround, hunting a problem that we're solving. Welcome, new people. Welcome, new people. Welcome, new people. Welcome. Welcome. To prove that you're not a robot, please comment something that you see on screen in the background. So that way I know that you're not a robot. Larry, aren't you gonna make a video about asking better questions? That would be 5 videos that I've made already. That's cool. That's cool that you're a robot. That's cool that you're a robot. That's cool. You should explain that new vagina thing. Which new vagina thing? I've probably said vagina 10 times. It isn't straw man syndrome, it's straw man argument. It's not straw man syndrome, it's straw man argument. What a straw man argument is where there are these silos. Let's say American Express, American Express, American Express, and Starfish. So American Express sets up a straw man argument by saying that Starfish, it's not going to provide you very good payment rails. So you're setting up a straw man argument by setting up a straw man to fail. But the Starfish, Starfish is not going to fail. Why? Because we are cascading. We're riding the waves. What waves are we riding? We're riding 4 waves. This is beneficial. Perhaps get a pen. Who makes you take notes during a comedy session, a comedy jam? That would be this guy. Have you met people that seem to go from new endeavor to new endeavor, somehow succeeding at everything that they try? That's riding waves. Let me show you how I do it so that way you can beg, borrow, and steal from this. Number one, instead of thinking that today is January 20, think of today as day number 81. It's day number 81 in the delta of days between November 1 and January 20th. This is how most people think. I don't even know what day it is. They don't know what date it is. They don't know where they are. They don't know where they're going. And I blame the porn. I blame the doom scroll. I also blame the fact that people have lost hope. I'm not saying don't lose hope, because maybe you shouldn't have hope, because prior to this video, you've been not great, right? You've been not great. You like these videos because I'm positive, yet also keep you accountable. You like these videos because you're trying to stand next to the Riz and gain confidence to maybe make something slightly better while you actively watch and try to judge. That's not riding a wave. That's staring at people playing basketball while not trying to play basketball. That's like staring at success porn. You don't even look at success porn anymore, but you watch regular porn, and you wiring your brain for regular porn has caused you to not see the world as a normal world because your brain is broken from porn. Your brain, I can't help but laugh. That was amazing. Clip. Riding waves. Porn makes you think that you're riding a wave that's fake. It's literally fake sex. That's why it doesn't just rot your brain, it diseases your brain. Let's raw dog away from porn towards math. Oh my God. Because there have been 81 days since November 1. Maybe you don't see this as a wave. This is the wave component, which is, do you know that there are 55 days of Gemini 3? It's an AI tied to YouTube. There's 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. Small man syndrome. Thank you for telling me that you're a barely big man at 5'9". Because you telling a dude who's literally 7 inches taller than you that you're small, that's also why the last male lover that you were with, because obviously you're gay and retarded, how big was his penis? Be honest. How big was his penis? I forget you're a woman. I forget. I forget you're a woman. Welcome back. Welcome back. I remember you. I remember you. You're a man pretending to be a woman, and then you say, Blake, it's unisexual. It's unisexual. I remember you. Welcome back. Welcome back. I like to average how many weeks I have. 2,500 weeks left for me. About 40 years. Tell me and expand more on that, where you're looking at the end, and does it cause you to have a better extinction burst? Are you familiar with the concept of extinction burst? While you answer that question, I'll finish the arithmetic. 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. What you're preparing for, which you don't even know about, which now that you know about it, you'll be better prepared than everyone else. That would be Web 12. Hashtag Web 12, which is where we're drawing a treasure map. Larry, a treasure map? Are we going to do an Easter egg hunt? In the real world, yeah, because the Easter Bunny only works on one day, and the Easter Bunny, if it's inhabited by a human, they're going to frown upon you hunting for Easter eggs in the 10-year-old to 12-year-old Easter egg hunt category. That's where the eggs are laid in a field, and then you have the youngest people go first, so anyone under 10, go hunt for an Easter egg. Nice. It is an extinction burst. Put a pin in that. Easter egg hunt. Okay, 10 to 12-year-olds, go get an Easter egg. Okay, 13, 14, 15, go get an Easter egg. And then finally, anyone who's 16 and over, go ahead and hunt for Easter eggs, because the Easter eggs get profoundly more difficult to find. That's why Easter eggs for older kids are later, whereas the early Easter eggs for the under 10 are barely even buried. Barely buried. Are you drinking green tea? Barely buried. Barely buried. Extinction burst. Extinction burst. By realizing and having an urgency to life, that's a terrific mindset. I'll pin your tweet or pin your action. When you live life as if it's an extinction burst, you get the content that I'm queued up perfectly for you.
I did not stutter. This is not a black person or a white person talking shit. This is a Chinese person spelling out what I did 241 minutes ago, which is all the fortune cookies, they were already delivered. You can make jokes about 5D chess being harder than quantum checkers, but look at your bank account. Your bank account, because you're obviously intelligent, your bank account should be reading, oh fuck, Larry told me that when I have 600K in a US debit card account, that FDIC insurance says I should at least have 3 bank accounts. Because right now, you have 0 bank accounts. I know. I can't help it. I can't help it. I know. How do you not have a bank account? I almost said you had 1 bank account. Because honest question, how do you have 0 bank accounts? How do you even function? This is you being underwater as a genius person. You're that special fish that no one's ever seen before. That was pretty smart. Is 5D chess harder than quantum checkers? That's pretty smart. But as a black person, keeping other black people accountable, why don't you have at least 3 bank accounts at 200K each? Remember, if you keep $2 million in one bank account, you're fucked when this entire financial system collapses. This is silver. This is GameStop. This is AMC. Can't stop, won't stop, chain stop. Can't stop, won't stop, chain stop. Can't stop, won't stop, chain stop. True story, Martin Luther King Day, I'm in the hot tub on Martin Luther King Day. Guess who's in a hot tub, also naked? This is why I'm going to walk around the Bears facility naked. Why? Because I don't understand why you have to shower as a professional athlete with clothes on. How much of a humiliation ritual is that? What a good question. What a good question. This is a question that I asked about shoes, which is, I'm in a hot tub, naked. Guess who's fucking there? Mike Tyson. I'm not going to say that he was naked, but when pro athletes are in a humiliation ritual, which is after the game, you have to shower with clothes on. And pro athletes humiliating me by saying, bro, why are you naked? I'm like, I got a towel on. What are you talking about? Did you just answer the question of, is it true what they say about Chinese guys? Are you penis shaming me for my baby leg? Why are you penis shaming me? Why are you making me shower with clothes on? Why can't you drop a doogie on the road? The reason you're so angry at my showering or hot tubbing or cold plunging without clothes on isn't because you're jealous of penis or my brain. It's because you're one of those people who are angry at the world because you're constipated. I am going to ask you, when was the last time you dropped a doogie? Because I am able to shit even when there are 15 hot girls and I'm in a Parisian apartment with hot girls. I'm in a hot girl Parisian apartment. I have to shit because I've been eating the entire flight. Once I land, nature calls. Larry, the Parisian plumbing, it's kind of delicate. Yeah, I'm not gonna stuff it up. I'm just gonna number 2. I'm not gonna flush toilet paper. Okay, I get it. I've shit on a yacht before. I've pooed everywhere. No, Larry. my toilet, it has Parisian plumbing. This is my first time in Paris. I've pooed in places that had plumbing. I'll just break it off. Because if I'm sending a 15-pound food dumpling, I can flush and then break it off. So I'm not gonna send all 15 pounds. What is this? My first dump? I end up plugging her bathroom because it's Parisian plumbing. Parisian toilets, the toilet bowl itself is like this big. She has to get in there and plunger it. I am more embarrassed than I've ever been. She's in there plunging it. She's using wrist. She's all dressed up. She's like just getting in there and plunging. She's like, no, don't worry. This happens all the time. I am now teleported into being the most embarrassed I've ever been. Imagine a hot blonde with giant boobs plunging the toilet while simultaneously managing my fragile emotional state, hoping to still fuck me later, because if I turtle too much, my penis will actually retract all the way and never come out again because it's embarrassed. This is why black people have a broken penis. It's retracted when it should be erect. It's erect when it should be redirected. This is Larry Chang, Dick Whisperer, because the reason I'm the Vagina Whisperer is, why aren't women having to manage their vagina? I've been having to manage my erection since Miss Picetto taught me PQRST. If I'm being honest with you, she looked like Miss Picetto. She had blonde hair. She was plunging while managing my emotional state. Do you know how hard it is to do two things at one time, which is plunger your bathroom while realizing that the person who stopped it up is currently in your party? You now need to make sure that the guy that you're going to try to fuck later, which is this guy, isn't so demoralized that he runs away or dies due to embarrassment. No, what I learned, basically yes, but not exactly. What you want to do when you're beginning to evaluate courtship of a woman is you want to just absolutely never buy food or take her places or buy her things. What you want to do is you want to drop a giant doogie in her toilet, or if you're in a hotel room, you want to drop a doogie and then make her go smell it. Because once she smells it, you see, women are wired to smell. And when she smells the worst part of you, which is actually okay, this is why dogs sniff butts. It's trying to determine how healthy you are. And when you're healthy and your skin's all glowy and you take a giant turd, she's checking in on you to see how healthy you are. Basically, if you're able to drop a giant doogie, you're rich and you're super healthy. So when she smells that you're rich and super healthy, you don't need to buy her things because you're rich. In fact, a lot of rich hot dudes, we've stopped trying because we don't need to try. All we do is drop a giant doogie. She smells it and says, I would like to do anything that you would like. And she'll want to jump in the shower with you because she's going to need to clean your butthole. But that's a different kind of kink. It isn't asserting dominance. This is you being default black male. Black males are always about asserting dominance. That's why so many black dudes put it in each other's butts. Diddy. That's why so many black dudes put it in each other's butts. Biggie. That's why so many black dudes put it in each other's butts. That's why black men love to go to prison, is because that's what they do there, and that's, or else why do black men keep trying to go to prison? Like, it's because they want to go, it's because that's what happens there. And it's because we got raised by single moms, and now we're looking for something to fill that void. I know, it's the most genius video ever, because it's not about asserting dominance. It's about way more complex things that I understand, that women understand. And it's not farting in front of them, because that's actually not good, because your flatulence is a sign that your gastrointestinal system is screwed. Some animals, when they're getting eaten, they fart and they shit themselves, but the person's still going to get eaten. So when women smell a fart, they think that you're prey because you're nervous. Whereas dropping a doogie, maybe you've never been to jail before. Me, I'm taking a tour of duty just to see if I can dominate in that social structure. So I'm not saying Ed Chen, Bruce Wayne, Larry Chang. I'm not saying John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. And I'm also not saying Adam Crampton. But if those people ever committed a crime, I would get blamed for it. Would I be able to ace jail? Because remember, we're talking about MLK Day, Martin Luther King. What could be more king-like than visiting jail even though you didn't do the crime? I didn't do it. Cool. You're in the holding cell. This is every holding cell. There are 50 people around the holding cell. There is one toilet. It's in the middle of the room. Nobody takes a dump. Nobody takes a dump. It's just there for decorative purposes to demoralize you. Me, I'm thinking 5-dimensional chess. I'm thinking, let's try to assert dominance by making everyone in here my girlfriend, because I'm going to do something that in the history hasn't been done before, which is I'm going to drop a perfect deuce. This perfect deuce, next time I drop it, I could kill you with this deuce. Can you kill a person with your doogie? Can you kill a person with a 14-pound baby? I'm not talking about you delivering my deuce for me. I'm talking about, have you ever heard of a person dying by getting hit with chin-high chin music, throwing 98-mile-an-hour shit at you? Because when that happens, you're running a game that other people are not aware of. That's what we're doing right here, because it's Martin Luther King Day. Let's stop playing stupid games to win stupid prizes. You asked me about my shoes. Those are shoes nobody's going to want to kill me over, but they're shoes worth dying over. Why? It looks like I'm wearing the same pair of shoes every day. It looks like I have a shoe fetish. It looks like something that you don't understand. Let's try to understand something, which is rich people. And before you say I'm classist, know that currently the majority of money is being held by rich people. This is Martin Luther King Day. You shouldn't hate rich people. You should hate the black people who are rich, because they're trying to make you poor by asserting dominance in a homosexual way. This is a heterosexual way. This is the way. Sure. Okay. Thank you for your opinion. I'll post it because you're obviously neurodivergent. Tell me about your sexuality later. I don't want to know. I'm just telling you that because you'll probably tell me anyway. You'll probably tell me anyway. I don't want to know. Okay, the shoes. People who are barely rich, I'm talking about the losers in Silicon Valley that have a single digit number of millions. There are the beta males. Beta as in they're so stressed in their brain because beta waves, beta, alpha, theta, delta, chapter 7, chapter 9 of Joe Dispenza's book, Becoming Supernatural. I know, percolates to the front of my brain. Neggy Neg beta males, page 127, page 132. Is this not the most valuable video you've ever come across? Because I'm quoting the rational male, Rollo Tomasi. Page 127, page 132. Losers will say, Larry's not rich. Look at what little money he spends. Look at what little money he spends. Poor people think that people who spend a lot of money are rich. That's why poor people are poor. Clip. Larry is not so rich. He never wears the same Rolex twice, but he's always wearing the same shoes. What? When you say retarded shit like that, I'm going to help you get rich. That's why I'm testing you with the pair of shoes I'm wearing. When every rich person who knows me and sees me at a Stanford baseball game on TV, because my feet literally appear on TV, they'll say, oh my God, do you have 4 pairs of those shoes? Every rich person says, you must have 4 pairs of shoes. I'm talking rich like 600 million to 15 billion. Every rich person says, I see you wearing those shoes. Do you have like a bunch of pairs? The reason this is funny is you can make a lot of money wearing the same shoes. Why don't people ask Jordan if he's wearing the same pair of shoes? Because he's wearing the same pair of shoes. It's called the Jordan 7. You may not have a shoe fetish, but you have a mental health problems or just racism problems. I can't distinguish which at the moment. That's because your brain is stuck on pattern recognition. That's why I pinned you. That's why I pinned you. Tips on daddy issues. Here's a tip. It's called forgive your father for wanting to fuck more women versus investing money into the baby that he already made. So, what is wrong with you? I can't judge a whole race of people by a few bad apples. That's intellectually ridiculous. I've heard this argument before. I'm making black people go from worst to first. Let's be honest. Your team, it's in last place right now. You're the Chicago Bears. You think you win the Super Bowl in September. By October, you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs. Your team's the worst. You see, I'm taking the worst, which is Caleb Williams. Have you ever seen a gay quarterback? It's not good, okay? It's not good. He's got painted nails. Sorry. He's got painted nails. He's got painted nails, and he's saying gay retarded shit. But we can all set aside pansexual neurodivergence. How do we set it aside? By mitigating our gayness and our retardation. I watched it lifetime. I watched it because he said something good about Ben Johnson. Ooh, goosebumps. You see, people with no dad have no mentors. People with no dad have a problem with authority. The authority isn't trying to assert dominance. That's what is stuck on your brain is assert dominance, assert dominance, assert dominance, talk shit, assert dominance. White people talking shit, assert trash talk dominance. This is why Chinese people don't ever talk any shit, which is why your brain is melting right now, because I'm more white than you, I'm more black than you, I'm more Hispanic than you. You haven't even met Lorenzo. You have never met Lorenzo. Have you met Lorenzo? DEI, defensively excellent infielder. During a baseball game, I'm Lorenzo Changing. I'm telling the person, I'm going to cry right now. It's so special. I'm going to cry. Lorenzo, 5D shortstop. Who's Lorenzo? Who's Lorenzo? Is he another character that you play? Lorenzo, he's an aging middle infielder, but he's literally seen it all. He knows where the baseball is going to go. Stop saying retarded gay shit of skate to where the puck's going. That's impossible, okay? That's impossible. You can't skate to where the puck's going. The puck is just ricocheting all over the place. I can't even see the puck. That's why hockey on TV, it's stupid. And then skate to where the puck's going. The TV doesn't even know where the puck's going. I know. I've got hockey jokes. And guess who my hockey coach is? Because I'm pretty good at hockey. Bill Horbach. Am I good at skating backwards? Put a pin in that. Lorenzo, the middle infielder. We're at a Stanford baseball game. Sometimes Lorenzo just ekes out of me. It's a critical game, and I'm yelling for the shortstop to move 2 steps to his glove side. Maybe you've never seen me on ESPN before. That's because you don't watch college baseball. I say the same shit on repeat, which is I'm saying nothing, but it's entirely energetic. Before you say, oh, but you're saying nothing here, I'm saying everything here, but that's because I'm not watching Stanford baseball. You don't see, now you do. At Stanford baseball, I'm not trying to give you advice. I'm trying to just be a cheerleader saying nothing while just being positive. You don't know what baseball is. Baseball is a game of failure judged by negative people in a misinformation environment. This is why there are so few black people that play baseball, because black people are from a super negative environment. It's not the money that's cost prohibitive. It's the fact that baseball is a game of failure judged by negative people in a misinformation environment. Do you see why this is the best video ever to hit Black Twitter or Black YouTube? Because what is being black? It's a game of failure judged by negative people in a misinformation environment. Clip! When you're surrounded by negativity, this is Baltimore crabs in a pot. This is, as soon as we're about to leave the pot, some other black person tries to drag us down. Did you guys do cardio today? Have you met Mr. Robot? Have you met Mr. Robot? Elliot Alderson has two personas. That's his Mr. Robot. His father and him had a complicated relationship. Nah, that's not true. That's not true. This is also, thank you. This is also what's amazing about the LGBTQ community is it's all lies. I know. This is why I did a turnaround of the Silicon Valley gay mafia, is the lies that get told and sold. Because here's a question for you. Tell me your origin story. Tell me your origin story, because you're lying about how it started for you. I know! Most genius video ever. Thank you for chiming in. You ever heard of Alexander the Great that conquered most of the world homosexual? In fact, there's a lot of great men in the world that was homosexual and accomplished much. First of all, thank you for your grammar and revealing the fact that you are your ethnicity. That can't be helped. You can't help it. Is this your first video? You have a lot of confidence. You have the kind of confidence that will pretty much rule out you being Chinese. Nice. This is your first video. You have so much confidence. You have so much confidence. Tell me your origin story if you are oriented that way, because you're not oriented that way. You're not even gay. I know. I can't help it. I just read 3 comments and I instantly understand everything. Now you understand how this is 130 fortune cookie sized messages about the National Football League, which is, I've seen it all before. There is no protocol that you can run social medially that I have not experienced. It's like the old thing he does, protest too much. Yeah, see? You don't get it. Thank you. You know what? People like that are homophobic and are deep down, scared that they're homosexual and don't want anybody to know. Again, wrong, because you're not even gay. Thank you for entering. And this is supposed to be a safe space for black people. You're retarded and white and gay. And it turns out you're not even gay. This is what you now understand. I have a simple question for you, which is, tell me how you knew. Tell me how you knew. And before you say, I was born that way, no. Tell me when you were first attracted to the thing that you were attracted to. How old were you? Tell me about your first thoughts. Because those are lies. I know your lies. Most best video ever. Watch. This is why my content's suppressed, because I am the LGBTQ TT. Did you see my rainbow flag? I could go get it. Oh, you're done talking now? You're done talking right now? Oh my God, I know who you are. I know who you are. Everything I said, 100.0% accurate. Yeah, very safe. All are welcome. And not able to answer that question. Thank you. You have the platform during our MLK Day. How did you know? because you won't be telling me how you knew, because here's the truth, is that someone forced you into it. Now your brain is trying to say, oh no, I picked it to be this way. That is me understanding who you are. You got forced into it the first 15 times. Your mother's brother. Ew. Ew. Your mother's pseudo brother? Ew. That's not even your mother's brother, dude. That's some rando. I know. I know. Chicago Bears. Brian Johnson. Being able to connect with a LGBTQ TT pro athlete as a Caucasian man, that's not easy. But that happened. Brian Johnson connected to Caleb Williams. Here's the connection that has me so empowered. It is this. Caleb Williams being the first black man to say thank you with no dad. In the history of being an athlete, that has literally never happened. This is why this world is so topsy-turvy, because I was not, and still am not, a Caleb Williams fan. I am now going to anoint them a future Super Bowl because I'm giving my brain power to them. How am I going to be transferring that? I'm doing that right now. I'm not going to go to the Bears facility. That's a poverty franchise inside a poverty city next to a poverty product known as the Chicago Cubs. Am I the only person asking if the Chicago Cubs are baby bears? Answer the question, how did you know? Answer the question. There you go, I called it, you're heterosexual. I called it. You just had that experience. I called it. Did I not call it? You're trying to tell us inside the LGBTQ TT community what it's about. But you got touched. Something's wrong with you because you can't answer the question of how did you know that you were heterosexual? How did you know? Or are you trying to sell yourself on that? Because you are heterosexual, but you can't answer the basic question, which is, when did you know you're sexually attracted to something? Here is me being 180% honest. Maybe that's too much honesty for you. Let's put it at 100.0% honest. This is when I knew. I'm sitting in 4th grade English homeroom. Who's my teacher? Ms. Bassetto. There you go. You left. And you deleted your messages. Loser. Thank you for leaving. Thank you. This is when I knew. Exactly. You don't want to know. This is when I knew. 4th grade English, Miss Bassetto's class, I am 11. That's when I knew. Because Miss Bassetto, she had blonde hair, big boobs, and she would talk to me really closely. I could still smell what she smells like. She smells amazing. One time I called her mom because I missed my mother. One time. And she did not even say, bad Larry. She just smiled because, oh my God. That's why I am hesitant to get married, because I'm hoping for Miss Bassetto. W. Larry, WW. Everybody agrees with me. That's why they say I have genius shit. if I'm absolutely right, why aren't you honest about your sexuality? Won't be honest, and your crystal ball is broken. And won't be honest. First of all, I'm a straight white woman, not gay, but I don't live in black and white world and respect the differences and rights of others. There you go. There you go. Pretending to be a man, saying you may have a shoe fetish, but you may have a mental health problem. Here's another question for you, because you're not being honest. You're not being honest. Because here's a question for you. Here's a question for you, and you know who this question's for, which is, tell me what psychedelic drugs. Tell me what medication you're. Actually, don't tell me what medication on, because I already know. I already know. White women policing the minorities. Do you not remember that I'm a minority? Talking about other minorities? Or is that not allowed in your Caucasian culture? First of all, I'm a straight white woman, not gay. I don't live winning. And dude, your crystal ball's off. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Polycystic ovarian syndrome, endometriosis, your lack of estrogen is causing the testosterone to have a dick measuring contest as you, the white woman, coming into a safe space for Martin Luther King issues. Because instead of Caucasian women not helping black men at all, okay, at all, know that this video, when history judges us, will be historically a generational run of 280 minutes of dropping fortune cookie sized messages answering everything about everything. To recap, Biggie Smalls, gay. To recap, Tupac, why can't we solve that murder? Because it wasn't gang related, it was the dude who didn't want to get violated. Is this a store, or do you have a bunch of brown loafers? Hi. I'm getting a lot of first-time viewers here. Welcome. Take DMT and turn Duck 9 into Duck 6. I don't think that black people can benefit from the Lucifer drug, which is DMT. Everybody sees the same demons. The shoes are doing what? The shoes are in rotation. The shoes are meant to win money in a bet, where people bet that I'm poor and that I wear the same new shoes, which somehow stay new. So it goes like this. This is 5D betting. Oh, I was looking for this pen. Also, what is going on with, where did this girl's name badge come from? Like, where did that come from? I think some girl is breaking in and or reverse planting stuff. Because where let's reward you for your attention. Let's look at windsurf. AI is a bubble, but it's a complicated bubble. AI is a complicated bubble. It is a bubble. I do know where the mute button is. Let's benefit from vibe coding this vibe. Are you enjoying this vibe right now? '62, '64, '67. Turbo hype. Hashtag Mushi, Mushi, Mushi. Mooshie, MUE, capital XIE, capital MOOSHEY. Hut. Pizza Hut. That's all the ROI for this video on Happy Martin Luther King Day. I'm presenting you with 130 fortune cookie sized messages over 130 minutes. Like a Black Person 2.0, I already delivered 130. Before the video started, in under 60 seconds, do you know what a compression algorithm is? This is decompressing it where I'm Chinese-splaining via something funny. Mansplaining is where a man who makes more money than you explains to you how to make money, but you don't listen. Let me Chinese explain it to you, because that's not toxicity, that's genius. Chinese explaining, that's not toxic, that's the antidote for 32,000 years of being black. And last, this is going from worst ethnicity to first ethnicity. Let's, number one, recruit Larry Chang. It's not honorary white status that I was ever seeking. All I've been seeking since inception of Duck 9 is honorary black status. Why? You see, I'm friends with 1 trillion black people. This is how you know. Larry, am I your first black friend? Says the 1 millionth black person. Larry, am I your first black friend? What? Shooter's gonna shoot. You're shooting the wrong shot. What? You think you're my first black friend? Thank you for telling me, because I'm finding in translation what black people say, because I never know what my black friends are talking about, which is why I know how every black person is talking, because I just will ask the dumbest questions, which is, what's a hoopty? Chameleonaire? What do they see when they see me rolling? Will you explain to me that? That was 35 fortune cookie sized messages. That was 130 fortune cookie sized messages. I have already delivered. Cheers to me delivering on Martin Luther King Day. Let's break it down. Fortune cookie number 131. The first one was hashtag Mushi Mushi Mushi, which is being able to memorize stuff and write stuff kind of like this comedy script. That's 100.0% accurate. I know. I took the time to make it funny. Fortune cookie number 131, or number one if you're trying to make my 130-inch penis shorter. I get it. You're trying to take a couple inches off. and that is Fortune Cookie 1. We want to ask questions as if we are Alpha Dog Larry Chang. Alpha Dog Larry Chang. Larry, can I get some of that Alpha Dog in me? Don't be gay. No homo. Which is Fortune Cookie number 1. Asking better questions. Yeah. Instead of saying a question from a point of scarcity, with scarcity mindset, with Caucasian people, can I get a handout? The handout that you've been getting, it's been killing you. It's been hurting you. Fortune cookies, Harvard, historically black Harvard. Harvard black colleges, historically black colleges. The reason that this video is hilarious is I'm replacing the H with the H, because the reason Stanford and Harvard are great is because they recruit stellar academic thought leadership, stellar best practices within being street smart. Have you heard that Jewish people take advantage of black people when Jewish people encourage black people to stay black? You see, if we were to recruit Larry Chang, we would be wiring our brain to do delayed gratification for time preferences. That's a lot of fortune cookie messages that I've just delivered. Time preference. What time preference is, the ability to delay gratification. Time preference. Can you temporarily work for a lower wage while self-improving yourself? Because the straight line up to lottery winner, there is no staircase for that. The stepwise function to be rich, there is not a black set of guidelines unless you read Les Brown, Think and Grow Rich. Do you see why I can't help it? I just know everything about everything. Because I am not your first black friend. You are not my first black friend. That's what every one of my best black friends have ever said. They say to me, hey, am I your first black friend? The reason they say that is because I am their first Chinese best friend. Time preference. Being able to be delayed in your gratification. If you can't wire your brain one time to do that, you have a problem. Ditto if you wire your brain in doing a cold open, where you open the message by saying, hey Larry, my message has been held for review. There you go. There's another message that you then made go past the filter. You see, we're talking about Martin Luther King Day issues. I have 130 genius solutions. You've heard 0 of these. You're not even black. Maybe find a better room. Maybe find a better room. Maybe, just maybe, you lost your wrench. Oops, I lost my wrench. Can't wrench attack a person with no wrench. I give wrenches. This is time preference. We're explaining 130 fortune cookies for people. Yeah. Here's another fortune cookie. It's called Mr. Robot. You see, in Rome, there were slaves. And in America, there's slavery, but it it's not the kind of slavery that somebody does to you. It's the kind of slavery that you do to yourself. It's a prison or slave prison colony with no bars. It's a self-imposed prison. This is why this video is genius. You see, I wanted to call this video 10 mistakes that black people make over and over and over and over again. I want to call it that. So let's go over 3 of the mistakes so that way you can ADD off, which is this. The time preference of the stair steps leading towards success are going to be not written. Why? Because the methodology, it's counterintuitive, because there's a potential energy. Stephen Zumdahl didn't teach black people very well on potential energy and the activation energy that's required. Oh, are you racist for talking about potential energy? No, you're retardist for not understanding about potential energy. You're retarded for not understanding about potential energy. Louise, stop being a black Karen. Those exist. Congratulations, you're a unicorn. You see, potential energy and activation energy might feel like a salad to you, but you don't eat salad. That's why your digestive tract is destroyed. You think that eating a $20 salad amongst rich people, it's a ripoff. You think that. Let's make $50 on a $20 salad. Am I talking about a salad while you talk about the incorrect accusation of word salad? Yes. Don't say butt salad. That's not a salad. That's default prison life tossing salad. Chemical potential energy, activation energy. Those are 2 concepts that are high school chemistry. This is why success seems like a walled garden, because the inconvenient truth on Martin Luther King Day is the fact that 40 acres and a mule caused black people like us to go bankrupt. It was too much money. It was too big of a test. It was too big of a F you, black people. Would you like to be drunk or rich? And then always drunk. And then never drunk because you're like, I'm rich, I'm miserable when I'm drunk. That's what 40 acres and a mule is, where if you would have given 40 Bitcoin and then 80 Bitcoin, all that Bitcoin would have been lost. Because guess what? 40 acres and a mule, that is more than 650 Bitcoin. This is the knowledge and logic bomb that Satoshi Nakamoto maybe was Jewish, maybe was Chinese, maybe was black. Satoshi Nakamoto was most definitively a white person pretending to be Japanese, pretending to be Caucasian. This is what's called Japanese maxing. And before you say, oh, this is the most hilarious video I've ever watched, understand this about activation energy and potential energy. There's a reason that black people, we haven't been able to invent anything since
the comedy.
The comedy where we front run what normally is expected and then we replace it with something that is unexpected. Not that everything needs to be funny, but when you find an algorithm where you're ahead of the curve, it becomes more probable to be profitable. That's why when you ask women, "Hey, what kind of characteristics do you like in a guy?" 100% of women will say, "Oh, I like a guy with a good sense of humor. I like a funny guy." Or I like somebody who's well versed in comedy. We're not looking for a stand up comedian when we're dating a woman. This is the disparity. This is the income equation. This is us being able to swap by and between dating strategies. Why is comedy integrated in one gender, whereas the other gender, it's not exactly high on our list? Do I need a funny girl? Nope. What do we just care about? What do we just care about? We care about things that guys care about. Boobs.
because your Jewish allies got you to use the word mansplaining. Now you're going to college anointed into the 40 acres, one mule methodology of getting you into college. Certain faction can't read, certain faction can't do math. That's okay. It's not okay, but it's temporarily okay because we're still on the topic of chemical potential energy and stored energy. This is a genius reverse engineering of something called delayed gratification. Don't get angry that the marshmallow test is not racist. The marshmallow test. You give a little kid one marshmallow, you say, if you can wait 180 seconds, if you can wait 180 seconds, I'll give you two marshmallows. This is 40 acres and a mule. They're not going to pass the marshmallow test. The people that gave you the 40 acres and a mule, they had no idea that you would parlay the mule and the acres into nothing. This is what's been wired. It's potentially in the DNA. This is how I'm going to fuck your brain in a positive way, sapiosexually. You see, I'm the only person who can take the word sapiosexual, connect it to Steven Zumdahl, connect it to potential energy, connect it to delayed gratification, connect it to potential energy. Because, you see, when we were roaming the plains, all we did was live minute to minute. We couldn't think that winter was coming because winter never came. Have you ever met a rich person who lived in Florida? They begin to go insane because their brain used to experience winter in Connecticut, New York. Jews! Jews! Now they're going insane because they don't get 4 seasons. You see, when your brain doesn't plan ahead and simulate a little bit of hardship, your brain gets lazy. It's not that black people are dumb. It's not that black people are lazy. Granted, black people look dumb and lazy. But it's an illusion because of where we grew up, which is in a environment in America where everything was given to us even though we didn't deserve it. Now, the rules are not politician dependent, meaning you can give 500 Martin Luther King days and 0 days for Chinese people. It doesn't matter because politicians don't matter anymore. This is what's in the Great Awakening. This is pattern recognition. This is still on potential energy. This is how to solve it. You don't even want to watch this video. You want to do the 2 favorite pastimes of Black people, which are porn and what's the other one? Oh, drinking, drugs, smoking out. So, good job paying attention because this video is going to be the most legendary video because I'm recording it on Martin Luther King Day. This is my 180th fortune cookie size messages. I promised 130 fortune cookie messages in 130 minutes. I delivered all 140 fortune cookies in what's called a compression algorithm. Compression algorithm. It's a suppressed, compressed formula, kind of like how my YouTube channel is currently getting suppressed. That's okay. I like suppression. I like compression a lot. What I got you to learn just there was potential energy. What I got you to learn there for the first time, white or Black people, which is why is it that the people that learn this stuff are rich white people? Why? Why? This is why. Is that there's a wired confidence inside your junk DNA. Is this Joe Dispenza, chapter 7? What is junk DNA? It's remnant DNA. It's shit. Can you DJ shit? And it turns out some people can't DJ anything as the best DJs in the world. This is your turnaround, which is remnant DNA, remnant thoughts from a random Chinese guy who you follow, but you really haven't been able to financially benefit yet one time. Which is this. You could constantly scream, I don't get it, I don't get it, I don't get it. Or you can shut the front door, shut the TV off, and say, what if I were to watch this person and try to make $500,000 per lifetime? You thought it was going to be $500,000 over 5 years. You thought it was going to be $500K on a drug deal. This is time preference. You see, what all this is another fortune cookie. To me, it's fortune cookie number 170. But for you, it's fortune cookie number 0 because you're on fortune cookie number 0. You're on life lessons 0. You're on, I've never benefited from a YouTube video. I'm still stuck at 0. The only reason you're paying attention here is because you should have made 300 grand already, or at least 500 bucks. But now you're into another Larry Chang video. Here's your fortune cookie. It's called time preference. It's called delayed gratification. It's called, can you practice shooting jump shots when it's just practice and it's just you? I have a Black friend. His name is Michael Jordan. Fortune cookie. Jordan watched me do delayed gratification. He's constantly learning because he's bored and he needs entertainment, and he's not a huge alcohol fiend, and he's not a huge marijuana person. He needs entertainment. I provided him that entertainment because after I beat him during his peak one-on-one, I didn't talk. I didn't trash talk about it. Jordan thought that my form of trash talk was a brand new form of shit talk where I'm not even talking shit. I am now showing him a new way to talk shit. That's time preference at my level, which is, can you delay gratification? Because if you can't delay any gratification, don't get demoralized. Write that down, which is, this is a fortune cookie skill, which is, how do I delay gratification? Because in a continent with no winter, in a continent with no consequences, why is the self-kill, black people killing black people so incredibly high? It's because of time preferences. It's because of delayed gratification. It's time to recruit Larry Chang for a $300 million contract to give 20 lectures at HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities. Because how many people get paid $300 million to put a ball in a hole where people aren't even watching that anymore? Why don't I get to put my books into your ear hole for $300 million? Why? This is why. Because I'm willing to do it for $0. I've been doing it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about how this platform is a library. This platform is also a bibliography. And not to be classist, which is, you've never, because you're poor, have you ever used a bibliography to make money? Do you see how many fortune cookie messages you're getting? You thought you were getting some racist rant about fatigue. I have zero fatigue. I am limitless. I will never have fatigue because I am limitless. You can't stop. You won't stop. Chang stop. This message is held for review. This message is held for review. When your message gets held for review, you don't have the time preference for cohesion. You don't have the time preference for congruence. When you say word salad, because that's a word that you can't get your lazy mind to cognitively triumph. Cognitive triumph. Think of it as a lottery triumph, but it's a brain triumph. Okay. When people wonder, oh my God, why are black people so backwards? You dig out the brain looks exactly the same as a genius brain. But why is the result often so mediocre? I don't know. I have a playbook. It's called Limitless. Let's look at one chapter, because the library and free library cards, that's black people's Achilles heel. What's an Achilles heel? An Achilles heel is the most strong tendon in Kobe Bryant, Larry Chang, and George Kittle's body. Yeah. You see, everyone thinks that it's a weakness. It's actually our strength. Cheers to Kobe Bryant's Achilles. Cheers to Larry Chang's Achilles. Cheers to George Kittle's Achilles. A Greek god was held
dipped in immortality and winning, except the heels were not dipped. Your entire body has been dipped in amazing sauce. It's called the Earth's atmosphere. Why can't you just breathe in oxygen and revert to healing? Oh, Kobe Bryant. Oh, George Kittle. Oh, Larry Chang. Stop saying that your Achilles heel is your worst thing. Stop saying that black people are the worst part of society. I think that black people are the best part of society, currently performing the shittiest. We're going to heal our Achilles heel. We're going to heal our heel. Why? Because I'm delivering fortune cookies like a submachine gun. I'm an ambidextrous machine gunner. David with a sling. I have a scope on my machine gun. I'm firing 75,000 rounds of obviously 190 centimeter. Did I say 190 centimeters? I actually meant 202 centimeters. Rounds. I'm firing 6'5" sized shells directly at your brain. One of these is going to logic bomb you. We're still on activation energy. We're still on potential energy. The dollar that you so love, a US dollar, it's based on a gas dollar. It's based on electricity, electrodollar. It's based on gasoline. Once you understand that US dollars is actually a petrodollar, you'll understand this video, which is you can make money not dealing drugs. You can make money not doing illegal shit, because the illegal shit isn't very profitable. Growing weed is like growing a weed. Everybody can grow a weed. What used to make weed so expensive is because you could go to jail for it. Therefore, the price of going to jail is priced into the weed. But guess how hard it is to grow weed? Because they have a phrase colloquially for it, which is, oh my God, it grows like a weed. When it grows like a weed, that's not valuable. They don't say, oh, that grows like truffles. That grows like truffles. No, they don't say that, because truffles are hard to grow. Your message is held for review. Your message is held for review. Your message, it's held for review. When you can't get past the filters of something super gay and super woke, that means you're more woke and more gay than the filter. Think about that. You can't get past the filter. That's like a person with a vagina who refuses to pull it out to go to the bathroom. Your urination mechanism, it does not clear the zipper. It doesn't clear the zipper. This is why this video is fortune cookie messaged, because the focus of this video is, can you learn what potential energy is? Can you learn what storing future work? Can you put a nut away for later? Can you have delayed gratification? You've been able to delay your gratification by watching this video pretty intensely. Let's get both black and white people to benefit, because YouTube does not have a filter for
only distribute this video to the 8 million black people that are not committing crime, whereas the 18 million people are committing all the crime. YouTube doesn't have that functionality. So with potential energy or activation energy, they're different. What we're doing is we're putting away money for the future. Does that strike a chord with you? Because there's a reason that your credit score almost automatically is horrible. This is how a monopoly called Fair Isaac wants to figure out if you're black or not. Because if you're black, Fair Isaac, they have an algorithm to determine your ethnicity. Think about that. Maybe you're not thinking about that. Because you could say that the algorithm is racist, or you can say, oh my God, did a robot figure out my ethnicity? Because when a robot can figure out your ethnicity, it's not a skin color issue, it's a behavior input-output issue. Let's gamify that. Maybe you don't see, I see, which is a black quarterback throwing to black receivers. Who's at fault when the ball gets intercepted? Everybody blames the black quarterback holding the ball. Me, I'm holding the ball right now. People are trying to blame me. You should blame yourself. You can't catch. But more importantly, from you can't catch, the difference is you can't run the right route. If I were Ben Johnson, the coach of the Chicago Bears, I would give my wide receivers not an IQ test. I would give my wide receivers a hashtag Mushi, 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 which is we called a play. Did you know what route you're supposed to run? Draw the route for me here on this chalkboard. This is potential energy. This is activation energy. This is a test. You see, football is a test. It's called chess, but I can beat the fuck out of you by tackling you into a coma. That's what football is, which is if you make a mistake, some dude who's 6'5", who runs a 4.740 is going to absolutely blast you. Just blast you into 2 years from now. Ben Johnson, he's the head coach of the Bears. Caleb Williams, he's the person who's in charge of delivering the football in a sport that you don't know anything about. It's called the quarterback. I am currently quarterbacking you in your brain. Here's the question, which is this. Ask your wide receivers what route they were supposed to run and what play was supposed to be called. What did you hear? The play called is one of 650 plays. Each player who is a wide receiver is required to memorize all the plays. When your number's called, you got to run the right route. This is Martin Luther King Day. You should ask your wide receivers if they can draw the route that they're supposed to run. Because I can guarantee that they did not run the right route. Caleb Williams, why is he understanding your job? You see, the quarterback understands the wide receiver job because the quarterback gets blamed for when the wide receiver doesn't run the right route. If I told you to run this route because 62, 64, 67, turbo hike, and you run the route called, Larry, I'm black. I shouldn't have to understand your word salad. You talk so much. You never say anything. I said a play with a hashtag, and that's racist? Interesting. Interesting. That's why I don't get to speak at HBCUs, is because there's a certain level of accountability. But let's set
catching robots makes. We're at Martin Luther King Day +1. Can you use a hashtag that was given to you yesterday, or did you take yesterday's keynote and decide to water it down? What was yesterday's keynote? It was from Larry Chang for default zipper down. It was Larry Chang for, by default, nearly 400 minutes. What did you do after you got the information that you required to level up? What did you do? Did you further your day-to-day progress? Because the benefit here of a hashtag is you've never benefited before ever from a prior hashtag. You view a hashtag as an exclamation point. You view a hashtag as Instagram language that you don't even look at. You just see 14 hashtags, hashtag spam. You don't ever think, hey, what was the original purpose what was the original purpose of connected conversations? What is the technological innovation of having to be able to avoid mainstream media on this form of media? Have you ever thought maybe consuming 7 hours of social media content per day, it may not be the consumption ratio, which is how much you consume, how much do you produce. Here are people's ratios at MLK Day, Martin Luther King Day, +1. It's 100% consumption, 0% production. Do you want to be in the Wall Street Journal, or do you want to read the Wall Street Journal? You don't want to read the Wall Street Journal for umpteen hours and rereading the Wall Street Journal and all its chronological derivations. Instead, how many times do you appear in the Wall Street Journal? Because if what you're doing doesn't get covered in the Wall Street Journal, did you even do it? Since the Wall Street Journal is no longer a legitimate publication, what is the new alternative? The new alternative is to reduce your ratio from 100% consumption to 0.1% production. Because you can view your 3 to 8 hours of doom scrolling as somewhat educational. Congratulations, at least for spending 7 milliseconds here. Because I tested you and robots make a mistake. Here's a test that you and I can pass since we're one-on-one. Tell me something that you see on screen in my background so that way I know that you're not a robot. Larrington McChang saying hilarious things like pinto bean and golf. That's not good. Pinto beans and golf? Ew. 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 But funny. Ew, but funny. Ew, as in, I thought you were a robot, but you're not a robot. It's cool to meet you. Will you confirm that you're not a robot? Which is, tell me something that you see in the background. Hashtags. Hashtags are invisible to most people. Let's look at MLK Day +1 because hashtag 26 days of Grok 4 ducking BK. Maybe you didn't write it down as if it was a hot girl telling you a phone number. Hey Larry, I'll blow you on Thursday. Here's my phone number. It's 310-6XX-XXXX. Where now you're activated and be like, well, I'm going to memorize that phone number. It's 310-6XX-XXXX. That's how you should be with being able to memorize things that are juicy, awesome. Here's another example. Today is day number 51 of hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 SF Super Bowl. You see, today is Martin Luther King Day +1. What did you do with yesterday's genius video drops? What did you do with that information? Did you become better, or did you say, oh, Larry Chang, that guy's super smart. I'm going to go ahead and look to see if I can get census for this hashtag thing. No consensus required. It's just arithmetic, which is day number 1, November 1 of hashtag 26 days of Grok 4 ducking BK. Maybe you don't believe in Grok 4. Maybe you don't think that ducking bankruptcy is important. What we're doing is we're practicing on a business cadaver, which is what AI is for OpenAI, because that shit's broken, kind of devilish, and super broken. Here's another broken thing. The 12 days of OpenAI. The 12 days of OpenAI. I solved it last year with the 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest. Because the 12 days of OpenAI was run by a Jewish guy who was trying to do a Christmas party. Normally it actually works out okay, counterintuitively. This 12 days of OpenAI, it was a poop show. I'm not going to laugh at people hosting a poop show. I'm going to solve your problem and try to make money. Did I say try to make money? I mean make an obnoxious amount of money. The 21 days of OpenAI at a music festival called hashtag 23 days, 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, comma, that's a music festival. But Larry, the only thing I see over on Twitter X is hashtag 23 days of OpenAI at SXSW. You're now meeting the person who's the co-founder of South by South Lawn with Barack Obama. Because these jokes, 12 days of OpenAI, these jokes, 21 days of OpenAI at South by Southwest, these more jokes crescendo into the flow state of, oh my God, I can't believe I actually used a hashtag to get rich. Larry, I don't want to be rich. It feels like you're going to do a workshop, blah, 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 blah. Am I going to have to join your Patreon? Are there links on down below? No, 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 no. Focus, my Padawan, focus. Which is use the calendar to front run other people's decision. Have you made your decision to benefit financially from Larry Chang's worst vice, which is free advice? Because there is no paywall, there is no email newsletter, there is nothing other than this, which is hashtag 22 days of OpenAI at SXSW. These are franchises that are open source. These are franchises that you can financially benefit from. These are franchises that don't even have a website. Can you make a website? That would be Web 12. Can you go from zero website, zero job offers to one website, 5 job offers? I think you can. That's Web 12. Maybe you got intimidated by AI. Maybe you're intimidated by this AI, which is American intelligence. Maybe Martin Luther King keynote floored you with, oh my God, it's some really good content. Maybe you can set aside your need to get rich and just use this one YouTube video to get one dollop of free food. Are we going to fuck around and get free food? I think we did. I think we just did. In the comments, tell me your favorite restaurant that you are addicted to or you're a regular at. Because what I'm going to do before the end of this video is show you how to get free meals from the place that you go to. This is the reverse. Normally, you pay the restaurant, they give you food. Now the restaurant's going to pay you in free food. How? The restaurant probably doesn't have a website. How? The website barely has social media. It's probably good enough where they rely on word of mouth. What you're going to do is you're going to run an external API. You're going to be doing MLK Day in the same way that I solve black people's problems. No black person asked me, hey, you're black, will you solve our black problems? That's an external API where nobody asked you to do it. You're going to be a self-starter. Here's a hashtag, it'll benefit you. It's called hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl, because day number 70 is February 8th. And now you're connecting dates because you barely know that today is January 20th. Most people don't know what day it is. They don't know that next Tuesday is going to be the 27th. Most people aren't planning ahead. Most people are just completely shell-shocked.
I'm saying, Chicago Bears coach, why don't you ask your wide receivers what play was called? What route did you run? Because I can guarantee you that they can't pass that test. Why? Why? I am in a movie. Thank you for asking. I am in a movie. Look at all these messages. You guys are so patient. You guys are so patient. Let me help you with these messages. We're catching up on messages. Catching up on messages. Your synopses are firing. Thank you. Thank you. A character from Twin Peaks. What's Twin Peaks? Love the Arctic Circle, Finland. The world's a mess, but I wish hope and kindness find you. Thank you. Appreciate you. AI with days of our lives filter. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I am AI. American intelligence. I am AI. American intelligence. I got a fortune cookie at a restaurant. Dwight says hi. Boomers are losers. I totally agree. Pinning your message. Dude, you're part of the Denison, you know that, right? Chick that pattern recognition. What's Denison? Hi, Larry. Could you please explain the topic of the conversation today? Sure. We're talking about fortune cookie-sized messages that are insightful on Martin Luther King Day, learning what activation energy is. Activation energy is where you
side, I see the development in China compared to the US, and it looks like they're way ahead of us as far as technological development. Got dropped in randomly by YouTube algorithm in the middle of your rant. Seems I am missing a structure start of your thought. This message is held for review. He's not on anything. His hat's just on too tight. My hat's super loose. It's my thinking cap. This message is held for review. Hot cute girl says. Hot cute girl says what? She says, "Are you gonna fuck me?" Nope. But your bathroom selfies look amazing. You know what? You know what? Here. Watch 3 of my older videos. Make enough money for first class ticket, dinner, and coach. And then we'll talk about it because maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Are you an American Yankee? Thank you for adding retardist to my vocabulary. Thank you for adding retardist. That's a pretty good word, right? Retardist. Blocked forever. Come back better after your timeout. That's not true. That's not true at all. I'm not following you. I'm not a good human being. That's not true. Some of the stuff gets complicated. Some of the stuff gets complicated. If you're going to flick your bean, just do so quietly. You don't have to advertise it so hard. Dude, you're a great actor. What do you mean by that? You think it's because my delivery? You think it's because of my delivery? Dude, you're a good actor. This is something that is very delayed gratification, which is, would you like a American Express Platinum credit card? Platinum, 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 platinum. The way to get a credit line that is unlimited is you have to manage a credit line that is very limited, that is Bank of America or Chase. One of those unlimited lines of credit actually appears in the wild. This is a fortune cookie sized message delivered to you on Martin Luther King Day, which is, there's a $31 million credit line. I parked it at hashtag 530 Lytton. Hashtag is a number sign, and then it's 530, L as in Larry, Y, T Tom, O, N as in Nancy. It's a street address. It doubles as a protocol. It's a street address. It doubles as a protocol. This street address
street address, it has a $31 million credit line. Why? Because to you, that's all the money in the world. To me, that's 1 good year of compensation. 1 year, 1 month. Because that's what Web 5 is, which is Web 5 minus 1, which is Web 4. Because we're mining fiat by making up fortune cookies. You've never made one fortune cookie and made $100,000 or $180 million. Maybe those words and dollar amounts depress you, but this is what we're doing on Martin Luther King Day, is DJing shit into money. DJ. Shit. Plop. Bristol 4 shits. A Bristol 4 shit is actually a good poop. It's perfect. Kind of like the opposite of a gastrointestinal tract of a African American or black person or Negro. Because the junk that black people eat hurts your gastrointestinal tract, which causes your poop hole to be destroyed, which causes your brain to get foggy. This is a fortune cookie. It's called Fix Your Stomach. It works as your second brain. It'll help you with activation energy. It'll help you with the content that I'm disseminating. Here's an example of time preference. Stanford University. Stanford University? Stanford University? Stanford University everywhere. When you're an athletic director to Stanford University, you can't help but get a much better job because Stanford University is the easiest job to be athletic director at. A total loser, a monkey, a dog could be athletic director, and Stanford would still win more national championships for sports than all the other schools combined times 2. Do you know how hard it is to get fired as Stanford athletic director? I don't think it's ever happened before, a performance where you get fired. And I'm not talking the Michigan football coach type of firing. I'm talking about more malfeasance, more ineptitude. I'm talking about Bernard Muir. We're talking on Martin Luther King Day. You see, I was Bernard Muir's first friend at Stanford University. Bob Bowlesby was a great athletic director. He got promoted to run another conference. So you're going to go from running a school to running a conference. That's a big step up. That's Bob Bowlesby. So who's the next guy that gets hired? Some random dude from Brown University. No one ever heard of him. His name was Bernard Muir. I'm like, okay, he's black. Let's be his first friend. Let's be his first friend. That's why Larry Chang is Bernard Muir's first friend. What does he do? Does he Jew God me? Does he cow worship his way into some kind of mishap? In a very black way, yes. Because what Bernard did was a fireable offense. How do you get fired from Stanford University? How? How? This is how. You wage an openly woke campaign against white people. Like, just attack Chinese people. That's a little bit more productive. I don't know if it's more productive, but why would you attack white people by canceling a Caucasian sport There are no such thing as Caucasian sports. It's just sports. True story, he got fired. True story, he even tried to get me canceled. True story, Bernard Muir. It's a poop show of how did you take the biggest lead in a marathon and somehow squander it? It kind of reminds me of the mishap, which is 40 acres and one mule is more money than 4,000 Bitcoin. You guys realize this, don't you? Do you guys realize this? When you even mention a mule, forget about the 40 acres. Being able to huddle the door is some Caucasian people language because Game of Thrones. Huddle the door is you hold the door. If the door opens and the people who are engineers and doctors come in, they're going to do what engineers and doctors do, which is broadcast, because during this revolution there's going to be Wi-Fi. Huddle the door. Hold, huddle the door. That's all you need to do with the 40 acres and the mule. You just hold it, and then you have the time preference of don't get tempted when some VC tries to buy your mule or your acres. You don't sell out, you build wealth slowly. This is why Satoshi Nakamoto, he's not black. There's no way that he's black, because I wish he were black. Because here's another question, which is, when was the last time black people invented something? Because if you're saying that no inventions have ever been invented, now you're inventing Bitcoin, the most significant invention in space and time. You're going to say that black people did that? Maybe Satoshi Nakamoto is black. Let's put the probability at 0.000000001, because that amount of Bitcoin, that's going to be 40 acres. Because 0.0000001 Bitcoin, that's going to be, that actually right now will buy a mule. The reason 40 acres and a mule is an inflection point is that was the payment. That was the, what are black people asking for when they're saying repay us for being slaves? Is it remuneration? Exoneration? It's some woke term for giving black people more EBT credits, CBD credits. Is that what they're handing out? Do you guys see that that's the matrix? Where do you want to go to a place where you never have to worry about food and you can have unlimited drugs? We're going to need to plug you into the matrix. Cheers to understanding the matrix. Cheers to you. We're doing fortune cookies. We're doing 130 of them. By understanding how delayed gratification works, shows you how you got turned into a wage slave. You got turned into usury, which is I owe, off to work I go. That's what happens when you owe money on a mortgage. And then some people are like, to hell with all that, I'm just going to be a homeless black person wandering the streets. And then I'll get free meals. And do you see why you don't see? So it's Jewish people using black people to ruin black people. And you're just saying, okay, cool. This is the solution for it because we're talking about Martin Luther King Day. Reparations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. The reason that reparations is a fortune cookie is that's the stage of history that we're at, which is reparations, because you need to distract the people with bread and circus. Who are the most distracted people? Who's running? Who's the black person in the circus? That would be the black people in the circus. That's who's in the circus, are the black people in the black person circus. Bread and circus. The circus is meant to distract us from the fact that the money's purely fraudulent. That's Web 4, is fiat mining. I'm not saying don't make money. I'm saying, how do we benefit? Larry, you're the fortune cookie shitter. Larry, you're the one who dispenses fortune cookies like you're the Easter Bunny. You're giving a message in front of an Easter Bunny. Harris Bank, Hubert is friends with the Easter Bunny. Let's pick up some money. Hashtag HTGHFAOTR. Hashtag mushy mushy mushy. Hashtag external API. Booyah! Just transferred some money to you with a compression algorithm called external API. You see, as I'm doing this video in and of itself is a one lecture series called What Would Larry Chang Teach at an HBCU, at a historically black college and university? What would Larry Chang teach? It would be marshmallow test. It would be external API. Because how many times have I said what they don't teach you at Harvard Business School? How many times have I said what they don't teach you at Stanford Business School? And instead of the activation energy and the keys to the universe, the keys to the money kingdom, I handed them to you. And what did people say? Oh, Larry, you didn't put the book in the format of which I am not accustomed to. Meaning, you didn't print it out because you didn't read it. Did you even read 1.0 books last year? This is also where, can you read at the 7th grade level? Because I'm seriously doubting white people and black people and Latin people and old people that are white and rich. Can you read at the 7th grade level for 7 minutes? Because the answer to that is you can't. Your brain got broken by a smartphone. Your phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking your brain. Your phone's not so smart, it's really just breaking your brain. Toy Story 5, clip it. But Larry, Toy Story 5 isn't going to pay you your $1.75 million singing fee. Why don't you just hold out? Why don't you just take a knee? Why don't you just do what black people have done? I'm a black person, Larry, giving you advice. This is what's wrong with YouTube, is you're taking advice from everybody with advice that's engineered to be applicable to everybody. Therefore, nobody's benefiting from it. Here's where the rubber meets the road. Accountability. Here's where the tires of my sports car that I didn't even bother to buy because I wanted an exotic sports car, but then I made enough money to buy 80 exotic sports cars. And then I realized guys like me die in stupid exotic sports cars that are actually too small for me. Have you tried sitting ever in a Lamborghini or a Ferrari? It's built for a 5'4" Italian guy. That's why Korean girls, after their husbands die, that's why they drive a Ferrari. What you're doing with an external API is you're saying, writing that song and putting it into an AI video for Toy Story 5, it might make $1.75 million for Pixar, but you may get 0% of that money. Because you have scarcity mindset, you want your first deal to be lucrative because you have no time preference. That's a clip. Clip it! Which is time preference. The reason I got rich is because Jewish and Indian people thought that my work was good enough to fuck me on. I didn't just say, oh, I'm going to go bring a machete or a starfish and collect the money that you stole. I said, hey, congratulations. Congratulations, you fucking cunt. I'm going to go ahead and forgive you, but not forget you. And I'm going to have time preference. You see, when you get revenge with no time preference, that's where you Chinese people say, when you go for revenge, dig a two graves. I know, my Chinese accent, it's getting better. It's getting better. Every video getting better and better and better. Every video getting better. Every video getting better. The reason every video gets better and better is time preference. You see, when you go for immediate revenge, you're angry. You're going to go get revenge. They're going to be ready for you. You're going to be acting from weakness while you're too emotional. You want to wait 80 years and then bury them, and then absolutely bury them. That's what I did. That's what I do. Is you can try to fuck me. Congratulations, I didn't need that money. You can try to screw me. Congratulations, you temporarily won. But you better keep an eye on your six, because software eat the world. You see, when software eat the world, I coded software to be everywhere. So if I'm coming for you, you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it, and that's how revenge works when you have time preference. Remember, today's Martin Luther King Day. There are institutions full of black people trying to get revenge with no time preference while rocking an IQ of about 80 or 82. This is why we don't need an IQ test for Chicago Bears black wide receivers. We don't need an IQ test. We need just a test called hashtag mushy mushy mushy. Congratulations, you get to win a Super Bowl, because stop having the illusionist Oz Mendino come be your guest lecturer. Stop having that guy, the hypnotist, the illusionist. Start to have Larry Chang keynoting your NFL team. This is my keynote. This is a fortune cookie. It's called Memorize Your Fucking Plays. Memorize your fucking plays. Because if you ask the wide receivers, hey, when your quarterback threw an interception, what route were you supposed to run? What play was called? There is no way that the wide receivers are going to pass that test. Why? Because the ball got intercepted. Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. Ball don't lie. That's my Chinese impression for. That's my Chinese impression. How student athletic am I? Ball don't lie. The ball doesn't lie. The ball got intercepted. Were you on the wrong fucking route? Were you on the wrong route? This is what's required is some Tom Brady shit, which is Tom Brady dropping hard R on TV, talking to his black friend who doesn't ask him, hey, Tom Brady, my name's Ed Reed. Am I your first black friend? Don't even get me started about N'Keal Harry running the wrong route. This is how I know that Caleb Williams, quarterback, 62, 64, 67. Hubert the Lion hike. Hubert the Lion is where I call an audible. Hubert the Lion is a mascot for BMO, Bank of Montreal. Tom Brady, N'Keal Harry. First round draft pick, Patriots, ran the wrong route, sometimes would stop running the route, the ball gets intercepted. Ben Johnson, the head coach of the Chicago Bears, losing because of an interception, the wide receiver ran the wrong route. This is why it's a test. Football is a test. When you win, you say, we were all on the same page. This is another fortune cookie. Clip it. This is another fortune cookie. Which is, we were all on the same page. That's why we won the game. There isn't one page to be on. It's 650 pages. Each play is a page. There is no way that the wide receivers have memorized all the pages correctly, because if the pages were memorized correctly, the Chicago Bears would be going to the NFC Championship game in Seattle. This is what's required on Martin Luther King Day, which is you're going to have to be smarter than Larry Chang playing professional football. That is incredibly unpopular to say. That's why my keynote fee for an NFL program is going to be, give me your franchise. This is why I get NFL money, is it's PQRST. This is the keynote, because it's give me your franchise or $0, because I'm giving you all the content right here. This is my time preference, is I want you to steal this content. This is why time preference works, because if you don't learn from this, I win. And if you do learn from this, I win. If you don't steal from me, I win. If you do steal from me, I win. I just win because I engineered the rules, because I produce, and I'm telling you how the test works. This is the test. It's called a football play. 62, 64, 67, triple hike. That's a play where I'm having you DJ up 3 pages. Page 62, page 64, page 67. Now you go to a steakhouse at Evia. It's a steakhouse. It's a Greek steakhouse. You go to 420 Emerson, and then you go memorize page 62, page 64, page 67, and it's going to be February 4, and it'll be lunch. It'll be lunchtime. Those 3 pages on a particular date, you've never had to go somewhere to prepare for something because you're watching this video as a black person 30 days after Martin Luther King Day, unemployed. Because if you were employed, you'd have to be somewhere in the future on time, fully prepared, reading every email that they sent you, reading recommended readings, reading the textbook before the class even starts. This is what's required to win in this competitive game called making money. This is what's required to win when money got incredibly competitive, which is you're going to need to read the textbooks for the school that paid for you to come because the color of your skin and your SAT score was 600 points lower than everybody else's score. Congratulations. You now attend the University of Illinois. Or you attend Stanford because Tulane University flooded and you're a study abroad student from India, Pakistan at National University of Singapore, DEI, more DEI. So you DEI'd your way into Tulane University, which is a shit college in Louisiana. And then that shit college got flooded because that shit college is, by definition, underwater. Got flooded, Tulane got flooded, and then Stanford DEI'd you to say, oh, your school's shitty and underwater. Go ahead and just attend classes here. And so now you're Indian Pakistani from National University of Singapore, studying abroad in Tulane, magically at Stanford. Now Stanford's going to just say, okay, go ahead and get a bachelor/master's. And now you think that your shit don't stink because you DEI'd your way to a level of incompetence. How likely are you to study a Larry Chang class that is off the books? How likely are you to study what the University of Illinois had to do in a suppressed succession scenario? What is a suppression succession scenario? It's where you take a Chinese person who is perfect on their SAT score, perfect on their GPA, because a GPA's maximum is 4.0. It is now required for Chinese ethnicities to be 4.7, 4.65, or at least 4.55 out of 5. Whereas if you're black, you just need to have a pulse and a GPA at 3.3, 3.31. That's good enough. That's good enough. What happens when you compete in a sport? Let's say a new sport emerges. It's called shooting a basketball into a basket. But let's say that we allowed Chinese people to shoot towards a basket that was as big as the ocean, whereas black and white people had to shoot into a basket, which is still huge. It's twice the size of a basketball. But let's say brand new people, forget about Chinese people, they're too good at basketball. Let's say a brand new alien. Oh, we need to be nice to our alien invaders. Let's let them shoot towards a basket that's as big as the fucking ocean. That's what college is right now for black people, is the goals and the bar was so reduced that dysmorphia happened. This is how to turn it around, because thank Jesus Christ for AI that is kinda devilish. Why? Because we can use AI while constantly praying to Jesus. Let's hope that this AI doesn't make you kinda satanic. because that's your second brain. And I hesitate on second brain because it should be your fifth brain. This is Martin Luther King Day content. Your brain. You have one brain. And your body, it's connected to your brain. So when your body's connected to your brain, if your body is shitty, your brain's going to get affected in the same way that rivers of shit in Pakistan and India are a revolt. When you throw shit in the streets, look at who litters in America. Look at who litters in America. It's 90% of the litter is coming from one of the ethnicities. Look at it. So what you're doing on the outside in the world, you're also doing to the inside, which is look at the food that we as black people eat. It's complete crap food. To get people to come to tutoring sessions, junk food is offered. When your body is shitty and can't shit, you're going to be like that really good-looking actor who was in a Marvel movie. He died super young because he would poop twice a month. The dude who was in the Marvel movie, that movie was amazing. He died from poop, not pooping. When your brain is connected to your body and your body can't poop, you're going to have brain fog. And I know that I don't have a medical degree, but if you're working at a historically black college, is there med school at your colleges? I don't think there is. Because if there were a med school, you should probably just give Larry Chang a PhD in medicine. But let's say you're going to need more than this video, even though this video is the most valuable video you've ever come across. Brain fog, your stomach. Your stomach is your second brain, and this is why I should get a PhD for this fortune cookie sized PhD thesis, which is when your stomach is ruined, do you know how hard it is? Do you know how hard it is to deliver content looking at his anus? I had to deliver for the longest time just staring at his butthole. Do you know how demeaning this is? Like, where's my contract? Oh, wait. I'm getting tons of free shit. Maybe this is why I get tons of free shit, because I have time preference. I've been delivering some of the most genius content staring at the butthole of a stuffed animal. Have you tried to shoot a basket where a 6'9" dude, this is your view of the basket. This is Brock Purdy. He's another quarterback. This is his view when he's delivering the ball. This is his view. That's all he sees. Sometimes I'm literally seeing a 6'11" dude's dick in my face while shooting the highest arcing basketball, because I remember where the basket is. This is how you have to deliver a football if you're in the National Football League, which is PQRST. This is a test, which is, are you where you're supposed to be? Because 7 seconds ago, I called a play. Wide receivers, you may not believe this, they cut after the ball is thrown. Meaning the ball is going to be at the predetermined location. This is why football is chess. This is why Ben Johnson, Chicago Bears coach, should IQ test, EQ test, PQRST test wide receivers. Were you cognizant? Were you aware? Were you able to mushy? This is my keynote for HBCU. This is my keynote for black-dominated sports leagues because N'Keal Harry, N'Keal, which is N'Keal, Harry. I know it's traditionally one of those engineer and doctor names like N'Keal, N'Keal. Kind of like Nick Urin. Do you like how white people also catch strays? Nick Urin is Steve Kerr's video coordinator with time preference. I watched 50,000 hours of video, Steve Kerr. I'm going to make a lineup change. I'm the video bitch. It's the video bitch telling the head coach, which is basically the equivalent of telling your boss's boss as an honorary Chinese guy. Basically, that's like, I don't care what my title is, okay? You're going to do what I'm saying because I put in the work. Oh, time preference. Interesting. This message is held for review. You might think there are 16 different topics in a minute. What you can do is understand that instead of putting the diamond in your ear, where are my diamond earrings? Brock Jones. Brock Jones. Yeah, Brock Jones. I did it right. I didn't call you by your dad's name, Bryce. Hey, when you name your kid Bryce Brock, people are gonna invert the Bryce and the Brock. I get Jimmy and his dad Tony mixed up. Tom Brady, that's super easy. This is what I do, is I talk to old people like they're 15. Oh, did I just explain to you what Chinese maxing is? Chinese maxing is where you talk to an 80-year-old like they're 25. It's not toxic ethnicity. It's not toxic masculinity, because that's meant for women to destroy other women. Goblins tell you to do that. Ben Johnson, head coach of the Bears. Just test your wide receivers and offer $1 million per correct question, because that's how money should be doled out. This is Larry Chang affecting the NFL algorithm for salary. There's this thing, it's called the NFL IQ test. I think it's the Rochambeau test. It's some random IQ test. It's random, and it tests IQs. And I'm going to say, obviously, black people do horrible with it, but it's an NFL test. It's been given since the 80s. We're now going to do, in the NFL, the Larry Chang Mushy test, which is, you want to get paid $35 million per year as the not highest paid player. Cool. I'm all for that, because when I pay you $35 million, you're going to make me $300 million. That's just how the math works. Stop calling yourself a slave. Because you only make $35 million. Stop it. Just stop it. Stop. Don't. Stop. Don't. Stop. Don't. You're not a slave when you make $35 million. You're not a slave. You have slavery on the brain. This is how to make more money in the NFL. This also applies to you making more money everywhere. I can't help it. It's chapter 4. You don't even need to keep listening to me, so you can go ahead and fucking fuck off and fuck the write-off. Fuck the write-off. Oh my God. I can't help it. It's this good. You see, you don't have to listen to me. You could have just read this in a book. It's called Jim Quick, chapter 4. Every time people were jealous, jelly is slang for jealous. Larry, why do you get to teach at Stanford? I don't even want to fucking be here. They forced me to. You should fire me and just read what I'm going to say, because what I'm going to say is from a book from 1983. So if you're jealous for that, cool. Fire me tomorrow and just read What They Don't Teach You at Harvard Business School by Mark McCormack. Because I went ahead and did the reps. I did the work of, I took that book and I made it super sexy, super funny. Guacamole, recipe number 23, which is I'm running an external API. That's what guacamole recipe number 23 is I am giving the Chicago Bears, who I don't even like. I don't like homosexuals playing football. I don't like LGBTQ DEI shit, okay? But if you're going to make me the head of the Silicon Valley gay mafia, I'm going to see you, Caleb Williams, because you have people who are heterosexual and retarded. You're gay and retarded. Let's help everybody no longer be retarded, whether or not you're gay, which is this. Caleb Williams saying something nice about Ben Johnson after, I'm getting goosebumps. Do you know how hard it is for Caleb Williams to say something nice about Ben Johnson? Because Caleb Williams has no dad. And he basically did the black triumvirate of Black Jesus, which is learning from a guy who's 2 years older than him, calling him dad. But you're not calling him dad, it's just a mentor. It's the first time a black person got mentored. That's what I'm saying. Who didn't have a dad. Let me repeat that, because you could be angry about it, but I understand algorithms and I understand inflection points. You see, what's tough about today is shit's changing so fast, and you're relying on some random 6'5" quarterback to come in and quarterback your team, because I'm currently running an external API while simultaneously being fucking hilarious. You see, Caleb Williams, he is LGBTQ TT faux shizzle. Maybe he didn't receive enough love from a man who's called a dad, but now he's giving love platonically, intellectually to Ben Johnson. This is why I'm going to help you win. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm going to help you win a fucking Super Bowl. I don't even want to get paid. I don't even like the Bears. I don't like football that much. It's just the bread and circus. There's energy there. Plus, I go to the Super Bowl every year. I'm fucking around and getting rich by giving the Chicago Bears a Super Bowl within 3 years. Why? Because for the first time, more goosebumps. For the first time in the history of time, a orphaned black dude with a single mom got advice from Ben Johnson and said thank you. That was the first time that that's ever happened in the history of humanity. Clip it. That's the first time that's ever happened in American history. Inflection point. What am I doing? I'm just a guy with not even a clipboard. Where is my clipboard? Where's my clipboard? I should be the backup assistant to the quarterback. You see, I'm just taking notes here. I'm telling Ben Johnson as Nick Urin telling Steve Kerr, you need to test your wide receivers because they're getting paid millions of dollars to be in the wrong fucking spot. This is the NFL draft algorithm, which is I don't need to pay you as a who's the wide receiver. You can tell this is how I'm not a football fan. Who's the wide receiver for my team, the 49ers, who got paid $300 million and then literally pooped the bed? He's like a really, really good wide receiver. Like, this is how you know I'm not a football fan. I just passed the test. In the comments, could you put who that? It's a flame out wide receiver. He was injured, and he didn't want the money he was getting paid during his injury. He's a 49er. You might be confused about going from black dads to quarterbacks in the NFL. But obviously somebody doesn't know that Caleb Williams' dad, he's MIA. Oh, is this you finally understanding? Hey, Larry Chang, he's the third institution of Silicon Valley. Because what I'm doing right now is unheralded on Martin Luther King Day, which is PQRST sting the wide receivers. I'm not going to say that wide receivers are a dime a dozen, but this is why you don't take a wide receiver in the first round. I hate that I know this. I'm not even a football fan. What I am a fan of is the algorithm and inflection point. I've never seen a black person with no dad give a mentor mention to Ben Johnson. Oh, but Kobe Bryant, your friend. No, he had a dad. He had a dad named Jellybean. He had a dad that was a great dad. In the history of sports, I'm calling inflection point, which is Caleb Williams. I do not like Caleb Williams at all. I think I'm better at quarterbacking than Caleb Williams. I know. But somehow USC got selected to play quarterback. Is it racism? Is it racism that we can't have a Chinese quarterback in the NFL? No, it's not racism. It's body of work. I've spent 3 minutes in 2025 being my best quarterback. Nobody wants a left-handed quarterback that throws 80 yards. Okay, nobody wants that. Especially because I might be a distraction in the locker room because that's how good-looking I am, even to heterosexual guys, because they're going to be like, hey, I hear that you're an investment advisor that hacked money where you say you don't need money to make money. Because I watched that NFL rookie thing that you did. That was pure genius at the Royal Hawaiian. Is that you? Are you Larry Chang? You look good. Taller. You look taller than your YouTube videos. Inflection point. I was the guy to rewrite the NBA draft algorithm using something called perfectly on Martin Luther King Day, which is mentor mentions per press interview. Mentor mentions per press interview. Left-handed quarterbacking is mitigated. Nobody wants a left-handed quarterback. Come back better, though. Come back better. message, because it's post pin neg. After your Puforia, come back better. Come back better after your Puforia. It's out only, buddy. It's out only. Algorithm, inflection point. Boom. The reason the algorithm reached an inflection point is I'm truly impressed that a fellow member of the LGBTQ TT community, Caleb Williams, was able to be mentored by Ben Johnson while giving him his flowers, while giving him an accolade. You're meeting Larry Chang, the person who coined the phrase #MMPPI, mentor mentions per press interview. Have you met Larry the Starfish? Deeply understanding capital knowledge, deeply understanding credit knowledge, deeply understanding venture capital knowledge, deeply understanding Chinese knowledge, doing a turnaround. Caleb Williams impressing me as a pansexual gay retard. There's hope for you, the retarded gays. There's hope for you as a black retarded gay person. This is me giving Caleb Williams a Super Bowl because Ben Johnson, you need to test your wide receivers. This is me changing the NFL draft algorithm. I don't need to do some Rorschach test. I don't need you to do some test about whether or not you're homosexual or whatever random stupid test that NFL scouts do. The only thing matters is I'm going to hand you a playbook. We are going to have a test. We are going to have a test on that playbook. That test is going to indicate whether or not you are going to make $39 million or $200K as a minimum. This is why when you can't memorize 650 pages, where I say, what is on page 62, 64, 67, turbo hike? When you don't know what's on that play sheet, you're going to be running aimlessly. Are you where you're supposed to be within plus or minus half a millisecond? You see, the NFL, it's incredibly competitive. This is me talking my way into a backup quarterback role. And when you think I'm a backup quarterback role taking up a spot on the roster, I am the backup to the video coordinator. I have the cojones to go books deep on a black dude. You see, black dudes have been going balls deep on other black dudes because Jewish people. I'm going books deep. What's books deep, Larry? Books deep is one book deep. It's called the playbook. I know that Ben Johnson, who's a Caucasian, he can't talk to black people the way that I can talk to black people. Look at how I'm talking to black people right now. It's amazing. I'm probably going to get paid $200 million from traditionally African black college. Do they have colleges in Africa? Maybe not, but maybe we'll start the first college in black Africa, where I get paid $200 million to do the biggest turnaround in the history of turnarounds because of me helping a gay or LGBT at least quarterback named Caleb Williams. If you don't know who Caleb Williams is, he's not good at being a quarterback, but I'm going to help him be better than Tom Brady. Oh my God, you're meeting Larry Chang for the first time. I am Tom Brady's mentor. Tom Brady proved that by saying PQRST while being microphoned up. In low socioeconomic terms, it's called being mic'd up. We're calling mic'd up. We mic'd up right now? That's Tony Robbins. That's Tom Brady. That's Larry Chang. You see, Tom Brady, you do believe that I mentored him, but he is such a Leo. He's such a Leo. He's such a Leo. He's such a Leo. You're such a Leo, Tom Brady. You see, Tom Brady is a Leo. And what a Leo is, if you're not into birthday racism, it's a lion. It's a pretty fluffy lion that's like, oh, look at me. Look at my nails. My name's Caleb Williams. I paint my nails. I get my nails done. I spend $800 for someone to come do my nails at the Chicago Bears fucking football facility. That is some Larry Chang shit. That is some Larry Chang shit doing meetings at Ramona Nail Salon. That's where I do meetings. So don't even get me started about my LGBTQ TT, which is I'm a transsexual. I'm a man pretending to be a woman, pretending to be a man. Because what this feminist movement needed on National Women's Day was a giant dose of Larry Chang. Larry Chang. Am I fucking myself right now? A little bit. Does that make me gay? A little bit. Because what are we doing right now on Martin Luther King Day? The same thing I did on National Women No Longer Be Fucking Retarded Day, which is this. Ramona Nail Salon, it's a great place to take meetings. Ramona Nail Salon. Tom Brady Snot Rocket. Tom Brady Snot Rocket. Naughty Shadana Breathing, page 42. Ramona Nail Salon. You see, you don't see, you will see, Silicon Valley. Copa Cafe, it's full of VCs doing meetings. What's nearly empty is Ramona Nail Salon. From Copa Cafe, you can see into Ramona Nail Salon. There are no more seats at Copa Cafe because you lazy fucks only want to do work meetings Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. because you need to escape traffic on 280. That's how lazy you VC cunts are. If you want to do an early coffee, that would be 9:15. That's not even early because Tom Brady is rocking the 4 a.m. meetings. There are no meetings in Silicon Valley before 9 a.m. Problem. Ramona Cafe. Problem. Copa Cafe. It's full because meetings only take place 10:30 to 2. Maybe 3. Guess where there's plenty of seating? In the nail salon at Ramona's Nail Salon. That's where I take my meetings. That's where I paint my nails and my toes. You're going to need to smell that intoxicating shit because I'm having to smell it. Now you're high from the nail fumes. This is me explaining to women why women get retarded is you've been literally sniffing too much chemical. This is Caleb Williams becoming Tom Brady via this video, because I'm not going to fucking that hellhole of Chicago to deliver this in your facility, because Chicago, it's a hellhole. This is what it is. It's PQRST. Clip it, because what I'm doing is I'm catching you up as the new viewer, which is, this is not a recording. This is you telling me, hey, talk to me too. Talk to me too. I don't know why, but it's just annoying that you're wearing this. That I'm wearing clothes. Ladies, if you listen to 50 more minutes, I will send you a shirtless picture. Why don't you? Would that make it gay? Would that make it gay? Would that make it gay? Oh, you're gonna tell me what clothes to wear? Cool. PQRST, can you maybe not paint your nails, Caleb Williams? Can you not paint your nails? Can you not paint your nails? Can you not paint your nails? Tell you what, I will take off my hat, but I will take off my hat in the next segment, which is coming up. Finishing this segment, which is NMPPI, Mentor Mention Purpose Interview. Finishing this segment, which is PQRST, I'm wrapping up all the dangling participles, all the unfinished thoughts will be finished. Are you excited about me finishing? Oh, the hat's coming off. The hat's coming off. You could call it a women's hat, because I'm very LGBTQ TT. You didn't ask me what my pronouns were, which is also in the next segment. Oh my God. Clip it, which is inflection point, Brian Johnson, Caleb Williams, and retarded black people who are his employees on Martin Luther King Day. Did you just say retarded black people? Oh yeah, because there's going to be a test for that. It's called, can you memorize page 62? Can you memorize page 64? Can you memorize page 67? Running routes at a 40 yards of running with a 4.7 or a 4.65, that does not determine success. You see, you don't see. Being able to run a route, it's called, how good are you at being a route runner? When you can't quite put your finger on it, I'm going to put my finger on it, because my fingers, they're into a lot of pies. My fingers, they're in your pie hole right now, which is, this is my finger on the pulse of the NFL algorithm. Clip it, which is, can you tell me what's on page 64 of the playbook? I will pay you $35 million. Anybody can be a genius. Look at Tom Brady. He used to be retarded. I'm not even joking. He used to be retarded. What's on page 67? The intelligence test that the NFL currently gives, it's gay and retarded. It's broken, maybe not gay. Maybe it's for sure retarded. This is the new test. It's called the can't stop, won't stop, chain stop. In the same way that you can say that you don't like my hat, you can say you don't trust really, really good-looking heterosexuals in your gay community. But what you can't say is anything of what I'm saying is wrong. Because it's Martin Luther King Day, let's let Larry Chang be the most useful black American, since America or black people haven't been able to invent shit since Africa became a continent. Lucy. Do you know who Lucy is? Because you miscontinented me. I am from Africa. You miscontinented me. We are all from Africa. I just happen to be the most valuable African. This is why. Puppet, the inflection point of intelligence. The only thing matters is, can you memorize 650 pages? Because there's a meeting. It's a time pressured meeting.
With an NFL huddle, you're needing to speak in coded language so that way you go from everybody in 11 different directions to 11 people on the same 650 pages.
You're not aware of how football works. There's a fucking play clock. You don't have all the time in the world like here. Here, you have all the time in the world, yet you still waste it. So, this is why chess is timed, where you time out, you only have a certain amount of time in order to make your move. That's chess that's timed. Football is timed. So when I say 62, 64, 67, turbo hike, when I say that, I could change the play to this. 62, 64, 67, Omaha. Hashtag HTG, HFA, OTR, break. In that moment, I went from page 67 to page 23. What's on page 23? It better be right at the forefront of your neocortex as a black person. Why? Because I don't want to play wide receiver, okay? It's too much fucking running. I got to run 40 yards, be open, and then the Chinese quarterback doesn't see me because I'm black or Chinese. I forget which ethnicity I am right now because I'm very fluid. I don't want to have to run all the way back into the huddle. I don't even like wind sprints, okay? I don't like that. I don't like the fact that I got to run 14 miles while the lazy-ass Tom Brady hasn't run a mile. Let me do the math for you for wide receiver work. This is why we, wide receivers, never get picked in the first round. It's because we have to literally run 26.2 miles. Meanwhile, the guy delivering us the ball, he doesn't even run 1 mile. Sign me up for that job. I wish I could throw a ball 70 yards with both arms. Sign me up for that job. Because all I got to do is just tell people where to go. That's what I want to do. I want to be the quarterback. Can I be the quarterback? I'm black. Isn't there a thing to make black people quarterbacks right now? Isn't there? You know what we should do is we should get that rando dude that holds a clipboard, because he looks like a quarterback. Do you see his bubble butt? We should make, just to fuck around here, okay? Just to fuck around. I kind of want to see if Larry the Bitch clipboard holder can play football. I kind of want to see it. Because I saw him dunking the other day, but I think it might have been Ed Chen, Bruce Wayne, Larry Chang. It could have been John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. But I kind of want to see it. I kind of want to see it. I also kind of don't want to see it because, oh my God, the Chinese dude holding the clipboard, he actually hits the cold plunge and the steam with no shorts on. Who the fuck has the audacity to walk around our locker room naked, fully naked? I mean, who doesn't hot tub with shorts on? This motherfucker, this Chinese guy, that tall Chinese guy, like, I don't even know, what's his position? Is he a player? Is he a coach? Is he an assistant? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. He's always wearing that cowboy hat. I think he's black. Do you see his ass? Who steam rooms with no clothes on? Who walks around with no clothes on? Like, did you not play travel ball? You're supposed to shower with your clothes on. PQRST, clip it. PQRST, preview question read. Thank you. It's supposed to be hilarious. This is why the Packers have Jordan Love as first. You think that Jordan is black? He is more Chinese than Tom Brady, John Teo, Tim Chang, Larry Chang. You're giving me goosebumps here. I'm going to take off my hat if 7 people say take off your hat. Jordan Love. When you beat out Cal Engineering genius, Aaron, what's the Aaron's name who went to Cal, who's too smart to play football? Who is that guy? Because when you beat out the Chinese guy who went to Cal, you're more Chinese. You're more Chinese. He's saddled with some other issues. I don't even understand football. But I am going to fuck around and make a nice fuck you to the Packers. Because where's my invitation to keynote? Where? You got that Tom Grazzi guy who I didn't even know he was a Packer fan. Because he does those viral videos. And he was talking about the Packers. I'm like, the fuck do you know about Green Bay Packers? Turns out, full circle, that's how he got his start. That's how he got his start. 8 people gotta say hat. 8 people gotta say hat. As a fellow member of the LGBTQ TT community, when you say genius shit as a woman pretending to be a man, wanting me to take off my pants, I'm gonna take off your wrench because you're a girl with bad time preference. You see, when you're a girl, you hear these things, you say, take off your pants, I'm going to suck it. That's you with bad time preference.
So the benefit of time preference, man to woman, woman to man, it juxtaposes your repetitions, your ability to execute one thing well, your ability to go from 0 to 1 furry, your ability to wear one tie one time. It's in the year 2026. Wear one tie one day and then never wear a tie again. What we want to benefit from is the 0 to 1 Martin Luther King Day, because today is Martin Luther King Day plus 1. It's also day number 80 of the hashtag 26 days of Grok 4 ducking BK. It's also day 51 of the hashtag 55 days of Gemini 3 at SF Super Bowl. If you've not succeeded in one day, today's not going to be your first day for success. How many more Martin Luther King days are you going to need before it clicks on to say, maybe I should get better video to video? Maybe I should get better day to day.